Looking for magic cards? At flipsidegaming.com you can now use the promo code LVD to get a 10% discount on orders over $10 while supporting the channel at the same time. Alright, Ixalan it is, so let's go. Pack one, pick one. Alright, now that's definitely a rare worth building around. Seafloor Oracle. If we can end up with a nice Merfolk deck, Seafloor Oracle can draw us quite a few cards. There's even some Merfolk we might wheel out of this pack, Swift Warden, River Darter, and Guardian. Alternatively, there's Impale, which honestly might be the correct pick over Seafloor Oracle, just because Oracle kind of pigeonholes us into not only a color combination, blue-green, but also an archetype, Merfolk, whereas Impale is just a good card in any deck playing black. That being said, Impale's kind of a boring pick, and I haven't drafted Merfolk yet recently. I don't mind taking the Seafloor Oracle. Second pick, best card in the pack overall is probably the Sprinter. Strength of the pack isn't bad. And there's definitely some Merfolk we can hope to wheel here. Jungleborn Pioneer, Jadebearer, and Herald. Herald's actually especially strong with the Seafloor Oracle. I could be tempted to take the Herald here. Hunt a Week, not particularly powerful in the Merfolk deck since their creatures are usually pretty small. Much better in the dinosaur decks. So I guess we'll take the Herald, since it plays so well with the Seafloor Oracle. Otherwise I could also see taking a Strength of the pack. Definitely taking Strength over these other Merfolk, since they're likely to wheel at least one of them. But since the Heralds combo so well with the Seafloor Oracle, don't mind taking it here. Alright, and now Guildrove Stalker is a totally fine 2-drop, and especially nice since it's a Merfolk. I think we're taking that over River Darter and Secrets. Even though Secrets is a fine card, it doesn't necessarily shine in a Merfolk deck, and Stalker is just a good 2-drop. You don't get many good 2-drops, and when it happens to be a Merfolk, it's kind of a slam dunk for our deck. Alright, we have a pretty interesting decision here. Jadebearer would be totally serviceable. I think a little bit better than Sworn Guardian for the most part. There's also a Woodland Stream, which would be pretty good in our deck, just fixing our mana. We're gonna have some double blue cards, we might have some double green cards. So having the mana fixing from Woodland Stream is definitely worthwhile. And we did see quite a few Jadebearers in previous packs, so we're pretty likely to get a few of them regardless. So I think we're taking the Stream. Also an argument for Spirewinder just as a flying wing condition, even though it's not a Merfolk. But I think Woodland Stream has enough merit here. Alright, got some more Merfolk here as well. Herald and Pioneer. Both be pretty decent in our deck. But given the Seafloor Oracle synergy, I'm kind of liking the Herald more. So this Merfolk deck is coming together pretty nicely. Can now take a Jadebearer. Over Secrets, this one's close as well. Again, there's a pretty high chance we end up with all the Jadebearers we might possibly want, but given that we're kind of committing to Merfolk, having a 1-mana 2-2 essentially isn't bad. Well, it's not exactly a 2-2, but you get my points. Ooh, Crashing Tide, that's excellent. Fine card by itself, but even better in the Merfolk deck. So that's a slam dunk. And alright, got our first miss, but that's fine. We're likely to wheel a lot of Merfolk out of the packs we saw, so we're gonna have a lot of cards for our deck here after the first pack. Do we want a Flood of Recollection? I guess it's an uncommon for the vaults. Alright, now we can take a River Darter over Guardian, I think. Also an argument for Plummet there. Definitely a card we could main deck in our deck, since we're gonna lack removal otherwise. Take an Armosaur. Although I don't know full plate. Take another Jadebearer. And a Sworn Guardian anyway. Well, as far as a Merfolk deck, this is not a bad place to start. Of course, hoping to open a Merfolk Mistbinder, that would be amazing in our deck. And instead we get a Crested Hurcaller, which is still totally fine card in any green deck. I'll happily take it in our Merfolk deck as well. And then we can hope to wheel River Darter, maybe Dreadmaw wheels, and we play it. Alright, now we can take a second Stalker, or we could take a Slippery Scoundrel. Rig Hauler is also reasonable, especially with the 2 Mistcloaked Heralds as the raid enablers. Let's take a Scoundrel, and then hope to wheel Stalker or Rig Hauler. Ooh, wow. What a pack. Deeproot Elite is going to be the slam dunk pick here. And then Swift Warden would also be excellent in our deck. Let's take a Deeproot. Alright, second Slippery Scoundrel could be good. Get all those evasive win conditions. Alternatively, there's another Crashing Tide, which of course is excellent in our deck. And then we're probably wheeling the Jade Bearer. We're pretty decent at enabling the City's Blessing, since we're playing basically all creatures. Even some that generate more than one creature like the Herd Caller. And we're on the board quickly, so we can get to the City's Blessing around turn 4, turn 5. So I don't hate the Scoundrel. Don't think we'll play a bunch of Sworn Guardians. We might want the Dreadmaw just as a curve topper, even though it's not a Merfolk, just because Sworn Guardian's kind of a mopey card. And we're probably going to end up with enough Sworn Guardians that we don't want to take it here. Alright, another Mistcloaked Herald seems decent. Got a few options here. Probably just going with the Secrets of the Golden City. Let's take a Secrets. Ooh, another Stalker, nice. And we wield the River Darter. Negate, don't know full main deck it. Jade Bearer wield. Jade Bearer wield. Sworn Guardian wield. So Merfolk's definitely wide open. Although you expect to see Jade Bearers and Sworn Guardians go pretty late regardless, since they're not particularly strong cards. What did we open? Emperor's Vanguard. Not an especially exciting card. For mana 4/3, pretty easy to block. But if it does deal damage, you get to explore, which is decent, I guess. I've got a One with the Wind, which can be a nice win condition, especially paired with any hexproof creatures like Slippery Scoundrel. We might get Jade Guardians in this pack, which is a 4 mana 3/3 hexproof. Otherwise there's a Wayfinder, which is also a fine card, but I think One with the Wind has more upside. Wow, Hostage Taker. Is there any way we can justify taking a Hostage Taker here? I mean, it's not like we're passing up on much. Headwater Sentries is a Merfolk, but it's not an exciting one. I guess Navigator's Ruin plus Mistcloaked Herald could be a win condition. Not the biggest fan of the card, since if you draw it late, you've already dealt a bunch of damage. Milling them is probably not going to be your win condition, and if you draw it and they answer your one evasive creature, then it's not really doing much. I think we just take the Hostage Taker. Probably not going to end up playing it, unless we end up picking a ton more mana fixing. At the very least, it's worth a couple of gems. Alright, this is also not a great pack for us. Probably just taking the Scavenger as a reasonable 3-drop. Was hoping to pick up some more Merfolk synergies here, but they seem to be lacking. Ooh, wow. Deeproot Waters, that's quite a synergy card. That's definitely the pick here. And nothing here that we really want. Prosperous Pirates is a fine card. Dryad is fine, but I doubt we'll play them. And alright, Shaper's Apprentice is an excellent card for our deck. 2 mana, 2/1 flyer essentially. 7th pick, I guess a Pirate's Prize. And now we can take the Sentries or the Ramparts. Let's take a look at our deck. So we didn't get there on like the super synergy Merfolk deck. We do have a Deeproot Elite as a great payoff card. We have a Deeproot Waters as a great payoff card and a Seafloor Oracle. Didn't end up with any Merfolk Mistbinder, sadly, or any other real payoff cards. Kumena, of course, being the best one. So I don't know if we'll play the Negates. Probably need Dreadmaw as a curve topper. Or we could cut the Dreadmaw and just play 16 lands, which is also reasonable. Pretty low on interaction, so we're mostly trying to win the game with our evasive Heralds, Shaper's Apprentice, One with the Wind, and Slippery Scoundrels, which I think is an okay plan. And we've got a bit of card draw with Oracle, Prize, and Secrets. So we still need to make a few cuts here, probably not playing the Sworn Guardians. Yeah, I think a trick like Rampart is fine. Like, we don't rely on it as much since we've got a decent amount of evasive creatures, but I could see one combat trick being fine. I guess I'll take the equipment, although I doubt we'll play it. Take an uncommon. So didn't really get there on the mana fixing, so I don't think we're playing Hostage Taker. Even though we could maybe justify it by adding a few of the treasure making cards, but I think we would be making our deck worse overall by trying to force the Hostage Taker into it. River Darter's cuttable to some extent. Yeah, I mean, this might just be a 16 land deck. We're pretty low curve. So what if we just cut a land here? Yeah, the Prying Blade would not be terrible in our deck since we have a decent amount of evasive creatures, but the card is still kind of weak overall. 3 mana to just add 1 power to a creature is kind of expensive. And the treasures we don't really care about too much. It does help us enable Ascent for Scoundrels, but that's about it. Yeah, Strider Harness is also not great. Kind of low on these 2 equipments in general. Pirate's Cutlass, on the other hand, I would play even in this Merfolk deck. Just adding 2 power is such a difference from 1. Could play Negate main deck if we wanted to. Wouldn't be terrible. Help us protect any creature that we enchant with 1 with the wind, since we didn't get Jade Guardian. We do have 2 Slippery Scoundrels as kind of safe targets for the 1 with the wind if we want to speed up our clock. And then the mana base, 8 islands for all the double blue cards seems reasonable. Don't think we want to go any lower on the forest since we still have a lot of green cards we want to play early. Does Dreadmaw have any applications in the deck? I mean, for the most part, it's just a Curve Topper to spend our mana on. If anything, it's also just a good blocker. So if there's a ground stall, the Dreadmaw can hold the fort while we keep getting in there with Scoundrels and Mistcloaked Heralds. Because we're kind of lacking those big blockers in a sense. So just having a 6/6 to play defense is just a nice thing to have. My main concern with Negate is that it doesn't help us with the City's Blessing all that much. And we do rely on getting to the City's Blessing as soon as possible for these Scoundrels and the Secrets. Whereas most of our other cards, at least to some extent, help. I guess Crash the Ramparts is kind of the exception there. Yeah, I mean, Hostage Taker's a very powerful card. And we could technically support it if we added like double Prying Blade to our deck. But then I think we're messing up the deck a little bit too much just to try and play Hostage Taker. There's definitely a world where splashing for Hostage Taker is still worth it here. But when we have so many synergistic low curve cards we want to be playing, I don't think we want to be slowing down the deck by jamming in additional black mana or Prying Blades that we need to enable before we can cast Hostage Taker. I think we'll try the streamlined version, and if we're lacking power level, we can always go back and add a Hostage Taker later. Alright, probably still have to keep this since we have one of our great payoff cards in our hands, and if we do find blue mana, then the sand's quite strong. Weird Murlocs. Merfolk are the OG Murlocs. Still gonna play the island in case we pick up a blue card we want to play. Alongside the Herald. Hope they don't bombard the elite here. Pioneer, that's fine. Might be correct to play the Scoundrel just to be mana efficient. They might also be less threatened by the Deeproot Elite if we don't play Merfolk here. Ooh, Jadebear is a nice pickup. So this Forerunner is gonna wreak havoc with our board, but we can get our creatures out of range from the Forerunner by pumping them though. 7/8, so we're not quite getting the City's Blessing yet. I guess the play is Heralds. Put a counter on Heralds. Jadebear. Put a counter on Elite. And now where do we put the last counter? We could put it on the Jade Bearer itself to get it out of range from the Forerunner. Or we could put it somewhere else to have extra protection from a double dino turn. I think we just put it on the Jade Bearer since we want to protect our creatures. So we can get to the City's Blessing faster. And hope they don't have the 5 mana that makes 2 dinos. Alright. Monstrosaur. Opponent is not gonna deal 1 damage, otherwise they lose their Merfolk token. Presumably. No attacks. I like it. And now we've got a Slippery Scoundrel to turn on Ascend. And we get to start beating down with our unblockable creatures. We might use Crash the Ramparts on defense to get rid of the Monstrosaur, we'll see. If our opponent manages to play 2 dinos, ooh wow. Well, that explains the no attacks last turn. That was brutal. So how much damage are we taking here? 17. So what happens if we take it? Do we have lethal on the way back? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13. Not quite. If we draw Jade Bearer, do we have lethal? That would be +2, so that's still not lethal. So I don't think we have a major reason to want to take it so we can attack back for lethal next turn, since we don't have many ways to do that. Probably want to make some blocks. I think we want to save the Deeproot Elite as opposed to the Scoundrel, since we need extra power and toughness ASAP. Or we could of course triple block the Forerunner, which is also reasonable. Otherwise we can just double block the Merfolk token. Maybe the play is just to triple block the Forerunner, hope our opponent doesn't kill the Deeproot Elite and kills the Scoundrel instead. Because if they give everything 1 damage, then the trample damage is just gonna kill us. So I don't know. Well, that was definitely a good strength of the pack. Well, that's a good top deck. Yeah, strength of the pack alongside Jungle Boar Pioneers, quite strong. If we had our own strength of the pack, we could have had lethal here. Alright, let's play the Seafloor Oracle. I mean, I guess we attack and hope to draw Jade Bearer, or another 2-drop that we can play. So yeah, I think gotta draw something. We did not draw something. So, I'm pretty sure we're dead. Well, we had a great draw here, but our opponent kind of trumped us with that strength of the pack. Can we even survive? Yeah, I guess we can, but it's the ugliest block you've ever seen. I don't know, maybe we shouldn't have attacked with the Herald, but just felt like top decking Jade Bearer was our only out. Yeah, I guess this is it. Alternatively, we could have not played Oracle and tried to crash the Ramparts on defense and then the next turn Seafloor Oracle. But I'm pretty sure we just needed to get lucky. Yeah, we're dead. Well, I mean, our draw was kind of nice. We had double Slippery Scoundrel with Hexproof on, what was it, turn 5? Into Seafloor Oracle with a bunch of unblockable Merfolk in play, but alas. That was a pretty brutal strength of the pack. This hand seems nice. Might be the type of hand where we sandbag some Merfolk until after the Deeproot Waters. Gotta make that decision on turn 1. Although playing Mistcloaked into Jade Bearer is kind of nice. So I think we'll still run it out there. Alright, I guess we're fully committing here. Unblockable deck incoming. Moment of Craving, that's a nice one. It's too bad. Alright, let's get in there. I think we play the Scoundrel first, in case they don't have a blocker here. Keeping Merfolk until after we play Deeproot Waters is definitely justifiable. I guess we'll play a Scavenger for now. And we can eat our own Mistcloaked Heralds to gain 2 life. Play the lands, so next turn if we draw Jade Bearer, then we get the City's Blessing for sure. Although a land will do it as well. Don't think the Death Spitter is attacking. Alright, land does it. So we'll go Deeproot Waters, play a land, ascend, and now the Scoundrel is safe. And it is a pirate, so it even dodges Fiery Cannonade. So we've got 3 damage a turn of unblockable damage. If our opponent decides to get aggressive with the Death Spitter, then Scavenger can maybe attack back. So don't hit our spot. And now if we draw any of our Merfolk synergies, like Deeproot Elite or Seafloor Oracle, those would be great. If we draw some card draw, like Secrets or Pirate's Prize, those would be good top decks as well. Basically any Merfolk is a good draw. Alright, could be useful too, I guess. Pump the Scavenger. Opponent might Shumblock with a Dusk Legion Zealot, and then we can trample over. For 2 mana, I guess it could have a Sure Strike type effect. So yeah, let's think this through. If they have a Sure Strike, then we still have 6 toughness, so we still trample over. So I don't think we get punished for going for it here. I guess it could have a Lightning Strike, but then they would have used it beforehand, I'm pretty sure. So I don't think we play around Lightning Strike. We could have waited until the opponent gets priority and they use a Sure Strike, but if they don't, then we pass up on the opportunity to use the Crash. And I think crashing here is a pretty good use of our resources, since we get in 6 damage and put them dead next turn. Alright, sweet. That was a pretty good draw. Lots of unblockable stuff. And they even had the Moment of Craving to kill our 2/2 Mistcloaked Herald, so it's not like our opponent's draw was all that bad. Alright, hand looks decent. Turn to Deeproot Elite. Against blue-white, they're not gonna have many ways to actually kill the Deeproot. And a Seafloor Oracle coming up, that's exciting. So Luminous Bonds and Water Knots, which are the common removal spells, don't really do it against the Deeproot. Interesting what we do next turn. Well, now I guess we'll play a River Darter and attack for 2. Could get punished by a pump spell on the Mistcloaked Herald, but usually the blue-white deck is more an Ascent type deck, which isn't interested in playing combat tricks. So I don't think we play around it, so just put a counter on the Deeproot attack for 2. Seems fine. I guess I could have a Slash of Talons, but it's not a card you see very often. Alright, so our hand's looking good, wouldn't mind drawing some lands. Squire's Devotion on the Mistcloaked Herald is definitely annoying, since our deck is lacking removal and interaction in general. Could play Seafloor Oracle, put a counter on River Darter. Opponent will have to start chum blocking it if they don't want to let us draw cards. Could go Scoundrel plus Bearer. I guess playing Oracle and start to make the opponent chum block is not a bad idea. And then next turn we can maybe One with the Wind and take to the skies. Opponent let us draw. It's a little surprising. Alright, Water Trap Weaver. Sure. So the card draw is gonna get out of hand pretty quickly here. We might just want to One with the Wind the Deeproot Elite, since Oracle plays defense a bit better. And then we can still play a Slippery Scoundrel. Seems good to me. And we have the City's Blessing, so got a nice 2/2 unblockable. Ooh, Time Stream Navigator. So our opponent will be able to take an extra turn next turn, which is definitely valuable when they're hitting us with a 2/2 lifelink unblockable. I'm kind of looking for our bounce spell, since if we can bounce the Herald or the Navigator, that can take a lot of pressure off our backs. I think we're gonna attack, see what we draw, and then probably secrets to dig for the bounce spell. Yeah, our opponent doesn't have double blue yet, so they might not be able to use a Navigator yet, I guess. But I think this is still our plan. See what we draw. Deep-root Waters isn't bad. I think we still secrets here. Alright. And then play the Scoundrel, and then next turn we can go Deep-root Waters, play some Merfolk. Alright, let's hope they don't find double blue anytime soon. There's double blue. But, I mean, so far it's not too bad since we've got 2 blockers out. So they're just attacking with a Herald twice and getting an extra draw step. Alright, Pterodon. It's not bad. But we can put a counter on the Deep-root Elite if we want to. If we can make the opponent chump block with Pterodon, then that's definitely worth it. And we might be able to, thanks to the Deep-root Waters here. Counter there. Counter there. Counter there. Kind of going all in here. So that's 9, 10, 11. So yeah, we can threaten lethal, forcing the opponent to chump block, which is a good place to be. Oh, played the wrong land there. But we're probably not going to get to draw since our opponent has to chump block. So I guess it doesn't matter too much. 12, still want to put 1 counter here. Opponent is forced to chump. So now the Time Stream Navigator is a lot less scary. Opponent has to answer the Deep-root Elite pretty much, otherwise they're dead. There's a Water Knot, so takes away the flyer but doesn't take away the +1 counter dispenser. So let's see here. Let's read our Stalker once again. 2 or less. So every counter we put on the Stalker goes to the opponent's face, basically. So we're attacking for 8 damage, drawing a card, and then playing a Hurt Caller. Seems fine. I guess we'll spread out the love a little bit. Well, this was a nice synergistic draw. Maybe shouldn't have played everything if we wanted to play around a Slaughter the Strong. Could have been reasonable. Opponent is probably forced to use a Time Stream Navigator here, just to gain a bit more life with a Herald. But hopefully they're dead once they're done taking their extra turn. Corsair we can block with the Apprentice. Yeah, probably need to play around Cellular Wreckage, but that's easy with everything we've got going on. I mean, they can get pretty close here. Opponent sends in everyone. It's a sign of desperation. Hoping we misclick, because all our cards are so tiny. I know what you're up to, opponent. I think we're fine trading there. So this is blocked, this is blocked, this is blocked, this is blocked. Take 2. And a very satisfying attack with everyone on the way back should do it. Sweet. Alright, so the Merfolk synergies paid off there. Turn to Deep-root Elite against blue-white. They couldn't actually remove it. They might have had that Water Knot in hand from the start, but just never had a good opportunity to use it. Alright, turn to Deeproot Elite again, I'll take it. Red-green, Firebrand. Is this the same opponent from round 1? Really? That's strange. Well, hopefully no gather the pack on turn 6. Alright, so we can probably just play River Darter here. Put the counter on itself, so it survives a Firebrand attack with a single pump. If they want to pump it twice, be my guest. Alright, so we time walked our opponent basically. And now we could go Stalker plus 1 with the wind on the Elite. Problem there is that we don't really want to incentivize our opponent even further to kill the Deeproot. Could put the 1 with the wind on the Stalker itself, or we could just play a Scoundrel. I kind of want to keep 1 with the wind to put on the Scoundrel. So just going Scoundrel plus a Woodland Stream could be good as well. Do want to block the Raptor at some point, but our opponent's not going to be pumping it next turn, presumably. So let's get in for 1. Play a Scoundrel and a Woodland Stream. Say go. And then next turn we can Secrets plus Stalker. And once we get Ascent, we can 1 with the wind the Scoundrel. So they get to hit us for 1 here. And a Tuskodon. Tuskodon is pretty scary. Can't really take 4, well 8 from this. And we're not very good at blocking large trampling creatures, so Tuskodon's pretty bad. Yeah, the 1 with the wind on Scoundrels just to make it deal extra damage essentially, and have it be safe from removal. Might have to take a different approach here. Yeah, we're kind of in a tough spot. Maybe we do just take 8 and just Secrets here. Yeah, I feel like we can't really afford to lose our creatures. At least not yet. But taking 8 is brutal. This Raptor's also kind of a nuisance. Alright, Deeproot Waters is gonna help. So we might not be able to attack with Scoundrel this turn, but we can still put a 1 with the wind on it if we want to. Put the counter here, I think, so we can trade off for Tuskodon. I guess we can also put the 1 with the wind on the Hexproof token to kind of diversify the unblockable threats in a way. It's probably better. If our opponent goes land strength of the pack, we're in trouble. So we've got a 5/5 hexproof flying. We've got a 2/2 unblockable hexproof. Just want to stabilize the board before we start attacking. Don't really feel like we can attack quite yet. Every merfolk we pick up is gonna grow our giant flyer some more. As long as the Deeproot Elite's around. We might see an attack with everyone. How do we block? Hope they don't have a pump spell and put the 5/5 in front of the 4/4 Trampler. It's gonna be a Swordtooth instead. No attacks. Dreadmaw's a nice pickup. Don't know if we quite wanna attack yet. If we just play Dreadmaw and say go, then unless their draw significantly changed, nothing should happen since we kinda answered the Swordtooth with the Dreadmaw. And then as soon as we start picking up some more merfolk, I'll feel more comfortable attacking. They can pump this twice now, so that's a lot of trample damage coming in. So that might be the card we block with the Dreadmaw. Alright, that's not what we wanted to draw. If our opponent goes Strength of the Pack next turn, we're just super dead. Well, all we can do is hope. If they don't have Strength of the Pack, we might be okay. Can Chumblock the Swordtooth, put Dreadmaw in front of the Raptor, 5-5 in front of the 4-4, go from there. And as soon as we pick up some Merfolk, we'll have more blockers, we'll have more +1 counters. Opponent sends with everyone. Alright, let's make the blocks we had in mind. I guess we can't really beat the +3 pump spell anyway here, can we? Yeah, and the Tuskodon plus a pump spell also kills us, so there's no point in playing around it. So if that's the case, I think these blocks make sense. They can pump the Raptor twice, that's 1 trample, and then 5, so 6, so we go to 1. It's probably what they're gonna do here, and I think that's fine by me. Wow. They didn't pump the Raptors, so they're gonna play something else here. Shake the Foundations, wow. That was a blowout. So they dealt 1 damage to each creature without flying. Well, at least it didn't kill our 5-5. Well, I guess if they don't have a pirate, then we might still be alive. Whiptail, but we still need to draw something here, since otherwise we're dead next turn. Yep. Well, good thing we played 16 lands. I mean, they might not go for it, since if we do have a bounce spell, they would get kind of blown out. So they might play 1 additional creature before committing. I guess we get a token, so we're actually still alive here. But we can't afford to attack. Would love to start attacking here. Yeah, we're just barely hanging on at 2 life. Dead to a pirate. Dead to a hasty dino. So they might just send everyone now. Would still be kind of bad for them if we do have a bounce spell, which we could have. Didn't really have a great reason to use it this far. Alright. Sadly, we can't capitalize on it. Path of Discovery. So opponent's happy playing a longer game now, so I don't expect him to attack anytime soon. And that gives us time, and time is what we need. So I think we'll put the counter here. Still don't think we have any great attacks, do we? So opponent's got 5 attackers. I guess the Crash the Ramparts makes our blocks a little bit better than they seem. And now that they have a Path of Discovery, I feel like we don't have infinite time, so I do want to start attacking. We do put ourselves dead to a pirate now, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. Well, we died to the same opponent in the same way twice, feels bad. I guess they're actually dead on the way back, aren't they? Sure. Alright. Game? Wow. Oof. I thought we were dead for a second. So our opponent respecting the bounce spell for 2 turns cost them the game. And then when they did find the strength of the pack, they got a little bit too excited maybe. That's a close one. Deeproot Waters definitely kept us alive, making those chump blockers. Alright, so we got a revenge. 1-on-1 versus that opponent. Let's see if we get a game 3 here. Hand looks reasonable. Herald into Stalker or into Apprentice. Or we could hold our Merfolk until after the Waters, but I don't think that's what we want to do here. Just go Herald into Apprentice have 3 power of unblockable creatures from the start and make him deal with it. We're happy drawing a 3rd land. Happy drawing Deeproot Elites. I think we're actually playing the Woodland Stream here. Just so we're guaranteed to play Deeproot Waters on 3. And that's an extra incentive to like keep the Herald until after the Deeproot Waters. Up against Vampires, alright. I think I played a Stalker over the Apprentice, since I would rather trade Stalker for Lieutenant than Apprentice. Not that I expect my opponent to attack here, but you never know. If they have like a combat trick and attack into it, I would rather chump with a Stalker than with an Apprentice. Alright, Merfolk versus Vampires. Opponent's got their Lord, we don't have one in our deck. And they have triple Conquistadors, so... Ooh, never mind. There's our Lord. This is gonna be a fun one. It's like we're playing our pre-constructed decks here. Alright. I guess we put the counter on the Apprentice so we can block the Conquistadors profitably. Sure. Just want to turtle up here. We should have enough unblockable stuff in our deck that trading resources here is fine. Alright. Opponent's finally running out of Conquistadors. Next turn we get to play a Dreadmaw, so if we can trade off for the Dinosaur Hunter, it's probably what we want to do here. Yeah, we've been getting pretty lucky having Deeproot Elite in our opening hands so far. So I think we just trade Merfolk for Hunter, take 3, and then Dreadmaw blanks the Conquistador anyway. So what we don't want to see is a bunch of flying creatures. We can handle the ground. There's Sky Marcher. Alright, so Sky Marcher could be an issue. Don't have many answers to it, other than trying to race. And a second flyer, ouch. Yeah, we're probably in a bit of trouble now. Gotta try and race with the Dreadmaw. And then chum block with our hexproof tokens on the ground. I mean, this Herald is also getting big, so we might have a chance. The Jade Bearer added a lot of power and toughness to the board. Opponent's taking it, alright. If they don't have anything, then they're pretty dead here. Attack with Lieutenant as well. Then we can double block and double block. Seems fine to me. Conquistador ends up dying when the Lieutenant dies. And yeah, opponent's just dead. Wow. Well, once again, Deeproot Elite plus Deeproot Waters. Pretty powerful combination. Alright, the little Merfolk, 4-1, not bad. Sure. This might be the hand where we keep our Merfolk until after Deeproot Waters. Although it is tempting to just play a 2-2 unblockable on turn 2. I think I'm gonna wait. Try and get a bit more value. Alright, double Martyr of Dusk. We can manage those with our Deeproot Waters tokens. So no cause for concern quite yet. Yeah, disenchant here would be painful. Opponents holding priority probably means they have a pump spell. What's the follow-up? Nothing. Alright, got our first token. Alright, next turn we can Pirate's Prize, hopefully not draw too many lands since we're kind of flooding. And we need all the merfolk we can find. Just single blocking the Martyrs with the Hexproof token and a Jadebearer here if they attack. They can use their pump spell if they want to, that's fine by me. And then we might have to keep the Herald back to block the lifelinking token. Depends whether or not they use their pump spell already, but hopefully Pirate's Prize draws us into more merfolk to kind of shore up the ground. Decides to attack. Just some trades. Fair enough. And nothing. Crashing Tide is nice. So if we Pirate's Prize, we can still Crashing Tide at instant speed here. And we suspect our opponent has a pump spell, so if they attack into the Herald, use a pump spell, we can kinda... Oof, wow. 2 lands? Oh, never mind. I messed up here. I thought we got 2 treasures from the Pirate's Prize for a second. This turn just got a lot worse. I guess since we're not blocking, we might as well attack. Opponent could be holding a Supreme or a Divine Verdict, which would explain the no play here. So I guess we can kind of wait. We are playing 60 lands, but we managed to draw 9 in the first 14 draws. So there's 7 lands remaining in 26 cards. Just gonna single block. Expect to see a pump spell here. Or they might keep it in case we block with a Herald. But then if they have a Divine Verdict, they can still kill the Herald. Alright, make that 6 lands remaining in 25. This is brutal. If this was anything else than lands, we would have been in great shape. Alright, I think we stay back and make the Crashing Tide play. Opponent might be flooding out as well for all we know. Also just makes sense, even if we didn't have Crashing Tide, to keep the Herald back, so I don't think our opponent's going to suspect too much. So now the question is it a Divine Verdict or a pump spell? We suspect a pump spell since they held priority a while back. And Crashing Tide at instant speed thanks to our Herald. Draws Herd Caller. Alright, so now we're back in business. Pterodon's kinda rough. Crash the Ramparts can help. Just gotta try and race. Branchwalker's fine. Yeah, we have the treasure, so we could still do both. Let's see if the Pterodon feels comfortable attacking. It does. Would love to pick up any creature here, especially Merfolk. Well, that's a good one. Now the bad thing is our opponents could still have a Divine Verdict. Although they did have the opportunity to use it alongside Moment of Triumph to kill our unblockable Merfolk. So I don't necessarily suspect they have it. And we're definitely still attacking here. Can attack with everyone. Hope they don't have removal. Awesome. Well, now we're going off. Well, still drawing a few lands here, but that's okay. Now that we're drawing multiple cards a turn, we shouldn't have too many lands left. And we should be able to outrace the Pterodon. Alright, alright. If our opponent has something like a Pride of Conquerors, we Could be done in 2 turns. How many lands do we have left now? 4, 12, so there's 4 lands and 20 left. It's not many. Happy to use a pump spell on the hexproof token here. Well, if we didn't have the Seafloor Oracle, we definitely would have been in trouble. If they don't have anything, this is great for us. Still get to draw a card. Opponent falls to 3. One with the Wind is great, and a Scoundrel's great. Alright, we should be okay now. And I'm just gonna One with the Wind, just in case. Can block the Pterodon. Got 4 damage unblockable next turn. And that does it. Sweet. So, opponent must have flooded out quite a bit as well. But Seafloor Oracle to the rescue. Alright, got a Deeproot Waters plus a Seafloor Oracle. I'll keep. Definitely a slow draw, but Scavenger is a good defensive measure. And can't really mulligan a hand like this. Of course, hoping to draw a second blue source at some point. I think I'm okay playing a Stalker. Even though we could wait, we have a lot of things to do with our mana in the coming turns. And having a potentially unblockable Stalker in play by the time we play Oracle is also nice. I think we'll play Scavenger. Like, the highest upside is playing the Herald and then drawing second blue for Oracle. I think I'll decline. Can eat it next turn if we want to attack, potentially. We could block the Warrior. Seems unnecessary at this point, I can take 2. But I could see myself blocking the Warrior in a turn or 2. Alright, Frill back. It's definitely a scary boy. So now we'll play the Waters and then stay back. And kind of take our time here. We should have a pretty strong late game. Opponent in Abzan, primarily green-black it looks like. Famished Paladin, an interesting splash. Oh, come on. This again. At least the Deeproot Waters tokens have hexproof. So those don't die to the Tetsamok. Definitely don't want to expose a Seafloor Oracle to Tetsamok. I mean, I guess we do nothing. Could play Jadebearer, but kind of want to put the counter on the Heralds, and don't want to play the Herald before Tetsamok happens. Just want to keep Scavenger on defense, I think. The problem here is that if our opponent just builds up a giant board presence and then plays Tetsamok, we're just going to be so far behind. They can play Tetsamok next turn, I think we let them. Yeah, opponent's just gonna keep playing out more stuff. Wow, Crushing Canopy, which can destroy the Deeproot Waters too now. Well, this isn't fair. They're attacking? I wouldn't be attacking here when you can play Tetsamok next turn. Alright, double Mistcloaked. They are stuck on double black, so let's say they do reveal Tetsamok to the 2 Heralds, we still get to play Oracle and attack and draw a bunch of cards. And then they will need triple black before they can kill the Oracle as well. And we do want to get our value before the canopy happens. We know they're not drawing a black source most likely, since they kept the canopy on top. So we'll see whether they decide to just play 6/6 Death Touch, or if they want to kill the Heralds here. Looks like they're gonna just put counters on the Heralds, but then we get to play Oracle and draw a bunch of cards. I guess we're fine trading. Alright, the draws from Seafloor Oracle better be good. Opponent also kind of messed up with auto tapper there. Alright, so hopefully they don't draw a black source off the top, so they can't kill the Seafloor Oracle. And we can keep attacking with a unblockable Herald. Oof, Ixalan's binding on the Oracle instead. That's rough. And now they can kind of take their time. Reveal Tatsamok some more. We get in 3 damage, but that's it. I mean, I guess we'll take 2. Kinda need these hexproof tokens to block Tatsamok. Yeah, this is rough. Opponent can get another black source, so they can reveal Tatsamok before playing it once again, so playing Dreadmaw doesn't really accomplish much. Does playing Jadebearer accomplish much? Not really. Gets in 1 extra damage. The opponent's deck doesn't even seem all that great outside of Tatsamok. I mean, Binding is also a good card, of course. But they're splashing for a Famished Paladin, which is unadvisable. Guess we'll take 4. Next turn we can play Dreadmaw. And we can kind of decide whether we want to chump Tatsamok or trade if they attack with it. And then we've got Apprentice to fly over, so we still have a chance here despite all the drama. So we don't have an infinite supply of Merfolk tokens anymore, but the problem is if we trade with Dreadmaw, then we don't have any blockers for the large ground creatures that our opponent has left. But then again, it's not like we have great answers to Tatsamok in our deck, whereas we can draw or Crested Herdcaller, for example, or whatever the name is that makes it 2 3/3 dinos, which can kind of hold off the ground. So I guess we'll trade. Yeah, the alternative would be to keep chump blocking Tatsamok with our small stuff, and then try and race with the Apprentice, but with our opponent at 12. Oh, are you kidding me? Yeah, that's just gross. Now it's gonna be virtually impossible. We can trade for the Scoundrels, we can chumblock Tatsamok, we can't do both. We need to top deck our 3/3 dinos next turn pretty much. And then try and race with the Apprentice. Not sure what else we can do. Plains. Yeah, if we had something like a Water Knot in our deck, we could answer Tatsamok cleanly, but we don't. Yeah, there's no way we can trade for Tatsamok and survive, is there? Because it requires us to block with 3 creatures, chump, take 4 down to 1. I guess it would work, but where does that leave us? With nothing in play. Not sure how we get out of this. Deeproot Elite's not gonna cut it. Yeah, this game would have been Winnable if we still had our Deep-Root Waters going, perhaps, making a few extra blockers. Don't get to no attack with the Knights. Alright, well, that was rough. We basically lost the game when Tatsumok got revealed. Alright, the sand looks decent. I think we'll play a Stalker before Jade Bear here. Champion is fine. Just play a Scoundrel for now. Don't have double green, so can't quite double spell here. But we've got our unblockable clock going. That's gonna be nice if we find double green. Although the awkward thing is if we do find double green, we're also kind of flooding out. But I would happily take a Forest off the top here. Forest off the top would also give us a City's Blessing, I think. Yep. Opponent also has a City's Blessing, gets in for 2. Nice. Alright. Can only attack for 4 here. But we've got a 2-turn clock now, and Crasher Ramparts might speed that up. Alright. So let's see, do we have any good attacks here outside of the Scoundrel? I guess a Stalker could attack and trample over the Sentry so it can keep attacking the turn after. I guess that's reasonable. And then we'll play a Scavenger. Get rid of a creature, so they don't have a target for recover either. Alright, that's looking good. Paladin means they can block the Stalker, and they get to survive. And they can suicide the lifelink token next turn to stay alive for an extra turn. But now with double Stalker, if they suicide a lifelinker, they would still die. Alright, so they're just dead on board now. Alright, sweet. So if they had suicide attacked with the 1/1 lifelinker, they would have survived for an extra turn, I guess. What about this one? I mean, it's fine. Nothing special, just a bunch of unblockable Mistcloaked Heralds into hopefully a Scoundrel with the Send. Hoping to draw any of our Merfolk payoff cards, as usual. Seafloor Oracle especially would be great with double Herald. Ooh, might be the Merfolk Mirror. Pioneer. A River Darter's a good answer here. And one with the winds, we're probably going to try and keep until after we get a Hexproof Scoundrel, but we'll see. Enter the Unknown, finds Apprentice. Interesting that they chose the token, maybe they have their own one with the wind. Because otherwise they would have had a chance to attack past the River Darter. but maybe they wanted to stay on defense. And there's the Oracle, so we're just missing double blue. We do have more blue than green in our deck, so got a decent chance to get that going. And we're not too far from the City's Blessing. A land, especially blue source, will do it. And Jade Bearer, alright. That's gonna allow for an attack here, so that explains the Enter the Unknown last turn. Still gonna take it here. Nice. Well, that's probably game. It's gonna be hard for the opponent to come back from this. Not impossible, just difficult. It's gonna have to start with an answer to the Oracle, most likely. Well, our pack one, pick one definitely delivered. Got a few sweet games with the Seafloor Oracle. So happy we experimented with Merfolk instead of taking the boring pack one, pick one Impale. Crashing Tide's not bad either. Secrets and a land. So there's a lot of ways we can do this. I think we just play a Scoundrel and then next turn 1 with the wind should be lethal. Yeah, that seems fine. I'll just play it now so we can block the Apprentice. Alright, looks like we got it. Well, at least our opponent got a Jade Light Ranger out of the draft. Looks like the unblockable Merfolk trump the blockable ones. Sweet. Nice, so we got to 7 wins. So we lost a game to Tetsamok, can happen, and we lost a game to a timely Strength of the Pack. So not bad, not bad. Ooh. And we got a Gishoth for our troubles. Nice. And a Dowsing Dagger, also fun build around. Can maybe brew a deck around this at some point. Alright, I think that's gonna do it for draft today. But for now, I want to thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed. And as always, have a nice day. I also want to thank all my patrons for being part of the channel, and you can become a patron yourself today and decide the topic of future videos over at patreon.com/LegenVD.